featuring a number of organizations part of MDEC's latest initiative, My Digital Workforce Work in Tech, or better known as MyWIT. Today's webinar is appropriately named after what this initiative aims to achieve: Jobseekers, let's get you hired. We have a diverse lineup of homegrown organizations looking to make themselves known on the big stage, including Orange Fin Asia, Self-Driven Enterprise, Thunder Software, Virtual Tech Frontier, Agos Asia, and Pantas Software. So before I pass the virtual floor to our moderator of the day, I'd like to urge all our viewers to send in your comments and questions in the chat box and stand a chance for our speakers to answer them live here on Graduan Aspire. Team Graduan will also be giving away Shopee vouchers to the 5 selected questions or comments from the chat box. Keep up to date with the latest happenings in the Graduan universe by following us on social media at Graduan, and do also follow MDEC on social media at MyMDEC. Don't forget to vote for your most preferred employer 2021 at the Graduan Brand Awards. So without further ado, I'll be passing the floor to our moderator of the day, Hanina Rahim. Hanina, all yours.
Thank you, Afi. Assalamualaikum, and a very good Sunday morning, everyone. Welcome to the first of our 2 MyWIT webinar session. We will be having another session right after this. Feel free to join into that session as well. Now, before I pass along to the speakers that we have today, I'd like to just give you a brief of what MyWIT is. As Wafi had mentioned, MyWIT is My Digital Workforce Work in Tech. It is an MDEC initiative to incentivize companies to hire unemployed Malaysians into digital jobs. Now, the initiative provides salary and training subsidies to companies. The initiative was launched in April, and currently we have more than 100 companies that have been qualified. Now, what does that mean for you as job seekers? Right? It means through this initiative that there are various job vacancies being offered by the companies that have qualified, that come with training opportunities if you are hired. Now, during this session, we have 6 of the qualified companies who will give you a little insight of their organization, the job vacancies that they have, and the type of talents that they are looking for. Now, again, to echo what Wafi had mentioned earlier, please do type your questions in the chat box. They are going to be addressed at the end of this webinar session. And also, you can also, as far as job vacancies that's available, in addition to what's been listed on Graduan, you may also visit the vacancies at mdec.my/mywit. Now, without further ado, let us welcome our first speaker of the day, Mr. Robin Hu from Orange Fin Asia, to talk about career opportunities as a certified RPA specialist. Over to you, Robin.
Hi, good morning, everybody. What a lovely morning. So let me share my screen, and then let me start what we are looking for and what we are offering. Can you see my? Now, I'm delighted as a Malaysian company, 100% owned Malaysian company, to join the MyWIT program. Let me put it into full screen mode. So I will start with who do we need to actually join us. The first thing that I would like to talk about is robotic process automation specialist, trainer, and also evangelist. Now, this is a sector that is very new, and if you have not have a look at a robotic process automation, I urge you guys to Google and have a look at it. It is a very new sector. It is also a very new automation process that is being now very popular and also gaining a lot of speed. Now, I just show you some market size. In Asia Pacific, the RPA market size will expand to about 2.9 billion by 2021, which is this year. And by the end of the next 5 years, it will double this number. And imagine the number of people they need to actually work on this RPA. Now, besides RPA, we are also hiring software engineers, UX engineers, QA and test engineers, AI, machine learning, data science practitioners, and also business development area. Now, to get RPA to work, all this must be in place. Now, so what do we do? A little bit explanation of what we do as a company. So I'm from Orange FinAsia. Our product is called Orange Workforce. We build AI-powered software robot that can work 24 hours, replacing human being, and that's what our focus is. And if you look at the world of robotics, there are a few types of robots. There are physical robots, and what we focus on is software robots. Now, if you are familiar with things like Terminator, now you would have the Terminator robots that you can see running on your left. There's also the software robots, which is actually on my right. So as you can see, not only you are having robots that are running physically running around, you also have software robots that running on the virtual environment that helps you to do your work. Now, we want to build software robot that can operate any system from anywhere in the world given the correct access. So you don't have to go through integration and stuff like that. RPA allows the robot to look at the screen and operate the system, whether it's an ERP system or a CRM system or any other system that is on the desktop. And of course, we also provide the software robot that can be managed by the owner from anywhere in the world. So that's what we are building, and that's what we are doing. Now, for us to be able to build the software robots, we need three major components: the Orange AI, which is the brain, the Orange Vision, which is the eyes, and also the Orange Bot, which is the robot. And also we need a lot of practitioners that will configure the robot for the industries. Now, there is, as you can see, if you have a robot that is replacing human being, the robot cannot be down. The robot needs to be self-healing. So what we built with the robot is actually self-preserving. It can self-recover, auto-restart itself. And it is also self-aware. It understands the memory requirement, the network, the CPU requirement. And for any robots to functioning well, it must also communicate to you. So there's also mobile monitoring that helps you to monitor the robots. So not only you configure the robots, you also need the robots to talk to the mobile so that the person that is managing the robot understands where is it. And if you have more than one robots, you can actually run it in a load sharing mode. So technically, we are making human being that is on the light and on your left, and then we are replacing it with robots that are operating the systems, and it can run 24/7. That's basically the objective of what we are doing. And that's where we need a lot of specialists that help us to do this. So technically, what I show you just now is the product that we have and where we are hiring. So a little bit about Orange FinAsia and who we are. We are an AI-powered RPA startup that developed our own software robot since 2018. We have been helping a number of large bank and SME automate their repetitive mundane laborious tasks. Currently, we have around 100 customers in Malaysia, and we are trying to expand into ASEAN 10. So that's where we need you guys to join us. So we started in year 2018. We are MSc status, and we are focusing on R&D on robotic and AI-related items. We believe 80% of the country workforce can be robotized. So if you look at the repetitive work that is being done in the office, all can be automated. Now you equip the software robot just like the robots in the production line. So you have production line arms that does this. You equip the IT system as the system that software robots operate on. So we believe that the software robots will work side by side by human, and it will be unattended. Now, a little bit about our achievement. We are 100% Buatan Malaysia, so it's a 100% Malaysian software. So we are the first robotic workforce software in Malaysia. We have our first bank customer in 2018. The same year that we established, we got our first bank customer. And then we cut live the system in 2019. After that, we moved. We were able to do mass market with the banks, but we also want to help the SME. So technically, we have moved everything onto the cloud in December 2019. Currently, we have a lot of SME that is using our robot. That also means that we need a lot of robotic professional to configure the robot, software robots for the SME and also for the banks and also for the bigger company. So in 2020, because of pandemic, we focused a lot in Malaysia. But if you are in 2021, we started moving into ASEAN. So we are looking for energetic, creative professional from Malaysia that's fresh grad that join us to expand into the ASEAN 10 region. So who do we need? So we need software engineer to develop the software. We need UI UX engineer to help us to make it much easier to do. And then we need data scientists to help us to build the eyes of the robot and also the AI of the robots. And we need RPA practitioner to go out and implement it with the customer. And of course, we need a lot of sales and pre-sales people. Now, we exist on the web, okay? And if you look at all the social media, we are there. We are now, let me run a video that we created on YouTube. You are welcome to join us on YouTube to actually see our what we do and also what we are offering. So let me try to get the thing running. Oh, okay. Anyhow, let me try to get the. Okay, I still have some time. I'm going to run this video for you to have a look. Oh, okay. Anyhow, I think there's something wrong with the video. You can actually go to our YouTube channel to actually have a look at all the offering we have and also what we are doing with our customers. Okay, so I will. So let me try to get the YouTube running. I still got some time. Okay, I'm going to stop early so that y'all can continue. And if you have the chance, go to our YouTube channel to have a look at our YouTube channel. And then there's actually a career YouTube up there that explain to you what we do on our that we do with our clients. Okay, that's all I have.
All right. Well, thank you, Robin. That's really exciting to hear about the various opportunities from Orange Fin. Now, next, I'd like to call upon Ms. Priya from Self-Driven Enterprise with her topic, gamification for employment engagement. Priya, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hanina. And thank you so much, Robin, for the beautiful presentation. I loved it. And hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and being here today. So today I'll be representing Self-Driven Malaysia, Self-Driven Enterprise. And I'll be going through with you first who we are and thereafter who we need, right? Who will be the best person to be our next self-stars, right? To be frank, you guys will be wondering, why do I need to know about the company first, before, I join or so forth. In our organization, we do not have a brand ambassador because the employees are actually our brand ambassadors by themselves, right? We trust them and they trust us with our brand. And therefore, we expect our new joiners or our new self-stars to be our brand ambassadors as well, instead of just being employees. So without wasting some time, I would like to share you my screen and to explain to you a little bit about what is self-driven about and also who we definitely need. Right, can you guys see my screen? Just change this to PowerPoint presentation. All right, so here we are. We are self-driven, the work tech for human, right? And today we are going to go through a few things, which is the self-driven culture, where we are and who we are and where we are now, and an overview about self-driven as well as the client success stories and what's the next step. So we have few game-changing mega trends now here today, which is, hyper automation of routine work, real-time data-driven robo managers, where 69% of managers or 69% of what a manager currently does will be automated in 2024, right? Requiring a complete overhauling of role of the managers, digital dexterity of workforce of now essential and gamified learning, on-demand and diverse capability tools, internal gigs and talent sources, hybrid workforce, the new norms, right? We have been talking about IR 4.0 all this while, but nothing was really in hand. I mean, not really much was really working. We were working on instead of just talking. But when the pandemic hits, that's where we see the need. And that's where it came all in place. So who is self-driven? So we are a real-time data-driven employee experience platform that enables self-motivated, outcome-driven culture that transforms employee engagement, well-being, and productivity. We use AI, ML, and analytics to build gamified intervention and nudge to deliver superlative and engaging experiences. So we come with what we are, we are known as self-driven, and it says what is our brand all about. We wanted to encourage self-driven people instead of boss-driven organization. So this is what we were able to actually approach by delivering the transformation outcomes. 80% of employee completed micro-learnings, 104% increase in monthly sales, 71% improvement in digital learning completion, 55.5% fewer sick leave annually per employee, 100% improvement in employee well-being, and also 50% employee hired from internal referrals. So these are quite a number of our clients. We are with Accenture, PNB, Principal, PwC, CIMB, and many more. And these are few of our achievements for the last few years. So we were the early participant as a promising innovator in plug and play, employee experience tech vendor in Gartner Hype Cycle report from 2018 to 2020, the employee experience tech strategy ISV partner for Microsoft Teams in Asia Pacific, best employee engagement platform in Malaysia, Singapore 2019, best HR tech startup company in Singapore 2019. So you guys would be wondering why Singapore. So just to give you a glimpse, we have self-driven is in 3 different places. It's in Malaysia, Singapore, and India. And let's just look into an overview about the platform. So this is who we are. We basically provide engagement, reward, performance, gig, and data-driven insight platforms, where we were able to increase the social wellness and belonging, open communication, collaboration, performance, and retention, agility, and innovation, right? And this is how we have been. So how are we able to engage employees? So we have all these gamification methods, right? What is gamification method all about? Where you actually have the nudge of, you put in a nudge of reward or, certain things that you will nudge you to actually work on. And you have survey and polls, pop quizzes, community leaderboards, social quest, badges, and points to engage employees. And also to reward, where we have, a lot of points for them to actually, use it to as, for their coupons and everything. Whenever you have achieved something, you will be able to get rewards as well as badges, and then you will use it to actually, buy a coupon for Grab, those kind of stuff. And performance, we do look into personalized employee recognition KPIs and core values where we actually put into the quest and for them to perform their KPIs accordingly. And we have an area marketplace for internal gig where they'll be able to upskill and internal gig opportunities where there's recognize and reward areas, and they'll be able to manage and predict as well. So this is a little glimpse about what is self-driven platform about, and we are also all about data-driven insights. It's nothing without data now, right? So we are very much data-driven insights where we have data which eases the managers to make decision to know where do they stand now and what are the things that they need to look into moving forward. And we are also working very closely with integrated with Microsoft Teams. And what is it without a client success story, right? A brand needs a client success story, obviously, to say we are successful out there. So as you guys are all aware, we have Domino's, very famous Domino's, and these are some of their challenges that they have been facing that we were able to help them with, where they have high employee turnover among those aged around 20 to 25 years old, limited recognition culture of the company, tedious communication workload for store managers, HR, market, and onboarding process for new hires, communication from HQ to frontliners, and how to get instant feedbacks and sentiments from employee remotely. So what we did was we were able to provide them a solution with a bit-sized learning quizzes, employee motivation, a real-time recognition tool for employee motivation, digital connectivity platform for employee exchange and positive daily interaction, engaging survey and games to collect feedback and suggestions, and structured remote onboarding programs. So we were able to provide them all the solution where finally we had 93% of overall platform adoption and 29% of eNPS in 6 months after the launch, and 51% of employee recognition by managers for participating company core values. So what's next? So we are calling out all our Southstar talents to actually join us as we are hiring now front-end developers, back-end developers, full-stack developers, QA engineers, UI UX designers, management associates, HR executives, product managers, project managers, and CS executives. So if you think you can be if you think you meet our expectation, and if you think you'll be a best fit for us, and you can be the next Southstar, so please join us at southdriven.com. So you can always contact me at mokna.priya@southdriven.com or at 0123410831. And you can always connect me through LinkedIn as well. I will always be available on LinkedIn as well. So just to say, we are looking forward to work with you. And just an introduction of Mr. Lam Won Chong, who's the founder and CEO of Self-Driven, Mr. Vinit Chow, who's actually the COO of Self-Driven, and myself being the HR manager. We are looking forward to work with you, right? And thank you so much. I have one more to share with you on video. So right after the video, I think I can leave the session for today. Right. And voila, there we are from South River. And if you guys are very much excited to join us, we are too very excited to meet you guys. So please join us back in South River and drop me your resume, CVs, or anything inquiry through my email address. And you can also follow us in LinkedIn. Thank you so much. And back to you, Hanina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priya. That was certainly interesting and exciting to learn about the various opportunities that Self-Driven has to offer. Now, our next speaker is Miss Joanne, who will share on how you can be a part of the Thunder Software Technology team. With that, Joanne, I'm going to pass it on to you.
All right, thanks, Hanina. All right, so I will just start to share screen. Okay. Okay. So hi guys, morning. I'm actually joined from the Thundersoft and I'm the HR manager of the Thundersoft Malaysia. So here I would like to having the roughly the company introductions. Okay, so you could see that from these slides, this is overall our footprint here. Okay. Thundersoft is founded in 2008 and we do have our first branch in Japan in 2009. And around 2010 until 2016, you could see that we are having a lot of strategic cooperations with different companies, for example, like Qualcomm and Spectrums. And around 2013 until 2016, we are actually having the joint labs with Intel and Microsoft, okay? And then started from 2014, we are actually joint venture with Intel, ARM, and even Qualcomm. And we have IPOs in Shenzhen stock markets in 2015. And since 2016, we started to acquire with two overseas company, which is based in Europe, which is Rightware and Solutions. Okay, and in 2018, we came to Malaysia and we have Indian branch. In 2019, we have Germany branch and Canada branch. And in 2020, we started to having the strategic cooperations with Tencent and Didi, and we have non-public offering raisings around 1.7 billion renminbi. And in 2021, which is this year, we started to joint venture with Human Horizons. Human Horizons is actually will be the automotive companies. And then lastly, we are started to acquire with the Four Visions as well. Okay, so based on these slides, okay, you could see that Thundersoft is actually split into the 5 biggest segments as well, and the longest one will be the smart home. Then after that we are starting joint venture into smart vehicles, smart IoT, intelligent visions, and smart industry as well. Okay, so the next one will be the company overviews. Over here, you could see that, okay, we are actually having more than 8,000 employees in globals, and 90% of them are actually from the software-based or software companies. And we are actually scattered around more than 30 cities, and we have more than 1,000 customers over here. And in terms of patents and IP, we do have more than thousands or so. Okay, from here you could see that our HQ is actually based in Beijing, and then all these small dots is actually which is our R&D center, which is scattered around. Okay, and then we are actually working closely with one of the R&D centers in Korea, whereby it's providing the one of our technology centers. And at the same time, we have Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia, and even India. In terms of Europe, we have Germany, Bulgaria, Ukraine, and Finland. And you could see that two of our acquired companies will be Solutions and Rightware will be under this area also. Okay, lastly, in terms of North America, we have Silicon Valley, San Diego, Detroit, and Toronto. Okay, so the next one will be actually what we do. Okay, so I guess most of you guys might not really understand what Thundersoft is doing right now. Okay, actually Thundersoft is started from the solutions of module. Okay, whereby this is pretty much on the lower embedded area that, for example, like Intel, Qualcomm, or even Broadcoms, they are started with chips or even the so-called the OS. Okay, so after that, we will just put into the solutions on modules or systems of module as well. Okay, and then we have OS. OS, which is this is Linux, this is Android, and then this is RTOS. Then with all of these OS, we go to middleware. Middleware, we actually split into few bigger segments, which is intelligent visions, intelligent voice, intelligent multimedia, UI engine, security, and connectivity. Then after that, we will just go to cloud, which is FOTA and MDM. And then with this FOTA and MDMs, we actually split to the four biggest segments, okay, which is, you can see that will be intelligent visions, smart IoT, smart vehicles, and smartphone. These four will be actually representing the business unit of the Thundersoft. Okay, so the next ones will be talking about the deep cooperations that we had in the industries. Okay, so in terms of Qualcomm's, okay, we are actually joint venture with them, and then we have been setting up the Qualcomm Intelligence IoT Joint Innovation Centers in Chongqing, China. Okay, then besides that, we do have our child company as well, which is we are having the joint venture between Thundersoft and Qualcomm, which is named as Thundercom. And then we are having the joint labs, and then co-developments on QRD, joint developments on new technology and ODC as well. In terms of Intel, we're actually having the joint lab with them, and then we develop on the products, co-developments, ODM and OEM service. And then besides that, we also joint venture with ARM as well. In terms of Samsung, we have ODC, core developments, OEM, and ODM service. And the last one will be Unisox. Unisox is actually the company which is based in China as well. And then they are covered the OS customizations applications, and they provide FAE support also. So the next one will be the cloud vendors collaborations. Okay, actually we are working out with all the cloud vendors in the markets. Okay, from here you could see that, which is AWS, Ali, Azure, and Google Cloud. I guess most of you guys might know about this. Okay, so we are actually the IoT partner, and then we join together to deliver the different kinds of projects. Okay, with these four cloud vendors in the market. Okay, so this is pretty much on the company introductions, and then again, due to the time limitations, okay, I will just roughly go through the hiring positions that we had right now. Okay, since that all the audience over here, some of them might be fresh graduates, and some of them might be having a little bit of software-based experience as well. So actually, we are open for the fresh graduate hirings with these kinds of requirements as well. And then currently, we are located in Penang. So for those who are interested to transform themselves or even start their career in Penang, you can feel free to join us as well. Okay. And then for those who are having a quite good experience in software base, okay, for example, like Python, Linux, C++, or even Windows, feel free to join us as well. So you could see that the email is over here. Okay. And then actually, currently we are growing over here in Penang. Okay, currently we do have like more than 70 engineers to connect with us over in Penang. So we do having a great team here. So for those who are interested, feel free to join us or even send a resume to us as well. Okay, so the last one will be pretty much on the power and performance engineers, okay, with these kinds of requirements. So for those who are having these kinds experience, feel free to join us or engage with us as well. So the last one will be showing some our company details, and then our email, and then including my email is attached here, and then my contact number also. So you can feel free to send any emails to inquiry us, and then even connect me and through LinkedIn. So feel free to join us, and then yeah, looking forward to meet you guys soon. So okay, so that's all for my parts. I will just pass it to Hanina. Thanks, Hanina.
Thank you, Joanne. Wow, look at those big names that Joanne had mentioned, AWS and so on and so forth. Now, be sure to jot down all this information so that you can email your CVs, and send them some questions. So our next topic is start your virtual career journey with us. It is a very apt topic considering our current condition. Now, please welcome Mr. Jason Lowe from Virtual Tech Frontier. Jason?
Yep. Hi. Hello. Very good morning, guys. Thank you for everyone for coming today to spend a lovely morning with us. So allow me to share my presentation slides. Okay, let me just make it full screen. So hi, a very good morning. Thank you for attending today's session with Graduan. So I am Jason, and I am the founder and also the virtualization director of Virtual Tech Frontier. So at Virtual Tech Frontier, we produce all kinds of virtual solutions, right? And a lot of people might be wondering, what does it mean for virtual solutions? What is a type of virtual solution and what not? So basically, when we talk about building virtual solutions these days, we're talking about how can we bring certain activities which is very engagement focused online. And in this, usually our company, we have been developing tech solutions for for example, virtual exhibitions. We've been building virtual press conferences for people. We've been building multiple virtual award shows, or also lastly, what we call a virtual learning management system, where people are there to, do certain awards, do presentations online and things like that. So in this sense, for example, what you guys are actually experiencing right now is some sort of a virtual activity where all of us gather together to go through a series of videos and events and how we can actually interact together in this manner, right? So let me move on a little bit more further so we can see what is the type of virtual technology that our company has been building over here. So for example, this is one of the largest virtual tech expo that we have done last year. Last month by itself. It's about end of May to early June. We actually concluded this. And this is what we call Data Asia, which stands for Digital and Technology Acceleration Asia over here. So in this sense, what I would like to show is that how we actually transform something that has been physically done offline, right, onto an online environment. And we can see that how we actually infuse certain various engagements into this picture over here. So allow me to play this video over here. So when we start our what we call virtualization journey, one of the very popular features that we create is, for example, avatar customization over here. So as we can see, we can actually customize all kinds of avatar as a user, and then the user can actually log into the environment with your customized design. So basically, we implement all sorts of gamification elements or elements that represent reality and how we're going to push it online so people can experience it in this way. So when we first log in, we will create tutorial sessions for people because a lot of people are still not familiar with how you actually navigate things in the virtual environment. So after we move on from here, we can actually walk and navigate ourselves in the virtual environment per se. So for example, in this sense, we actually created this whole platform in space, right? Because our company at that time, we were trying to push the limits of what we can do virtually. Because when we design something online or virtually or digitally per se, we are actually able to do anything we want, right? We can actually even do an undersea environment. We can actually do a beachside party, things like that, right? So for this particular project that we did for Data Asia, we actually built a space environment. Hence why you can see the background looks like space. And then we actually built like a floating spaceship that it's there to process the events and things like that. And as we can see over here right now, there are multiple booths that what we call virtual booths. And these booths are the type of booths that we will use to give fellow companies and exhibitors who come online to actually showcase their company profile, showcase their technology and things like that, right? So let's move forward. So in the booth, we can do a few things like opening the information of the booth. We can link WhatsApp number, Facebook number, website, and things like that. So it's just not really a pure game per se, but we're actually linking how the game environment can be transferred into a real world situation, right? So we can view posters, we can click into multiple information about the company and so on and so forth. And also you have various features over here, like dropping your name card. You can vote for the booth and things like that. So basically, long story short, we are here to actually customize and try to build relevant missions also into place so that people can actually have, it's a bit similar with how you actually gamify the workforce by our past presenters. We actually also push and incite missions over here to incentivize people to do certain things that we want them to do in this environment per se lah. So you got all these mission lists and things like that, visit booths, and then for various companies, we can then adjust how someone behaves in our environment per se, right? So long story short, it's all about the engagement process and what kind of activities that we can actually gamify within this environment to allow various type of connections to be made when they are actually joining and participating in this virtual expo. So one thing different also in this platform is that we can actually have a multiplayer feature. And with this, you can actually talk and communicate with various people from all over the world over here and stuff like that. So basically, to virtualize engagements that is usually done on ground is what our company do. So we continuously seek, improve, and do all sorts of research and development that can really push these kind of features forward lah. So let me move on to the next slides. So at the end of the event, what our company usually do is that we'll gather all these sorts of data. And with all this kind of data, we can actually do a lot of things to improve a lot, not only our solutions per se, but for the companies that actually join or use our platform, they can actually learn a lot of things about the user, especially the user behavior. We can understand where they go, what did they do, which kind of videos they watch, and things like that. And because in this new economy of 2020 and beyond, we are actually looking at using data to actually make all sorts of decisions moving forward. So decision-making process has been a very important and valuable thing that a lot of companies are actually focusing on. So by pushing a platform like this, we are able to actually capture different sorts of engagements there. And from there, we can actually move the economy forward through accurate data of sorts, right? So this is one of the few things that we have been developing, a very gamified virtual platform that people can use for conferences, expos, events, award nights, and things like that, which is primarily what a lot of companies these days, they are not able to do because of the pandemic. So a few other things that my team have also been doing is that I also have what we call a multimedia team or multimedia department. And what these multimedia company department do is actually we will actually produce what we call green screen shows, right? So in a lot of sense, when we're doing a conference that requires more interaction per se, we will actually go. We actually have our own studio back in our office, but we also enable the process of bringing our equipment to locations, to either hotel ballrooms that can fit more people for the show and things like that. So for example, in this slide over here, we can see that the environment looks like the one on the picture above. It's actually a lot of multimedia equipment in front of a green screen background. And from our side, our team, we will actually develop a virtual stage per se, and we will then superimpose everything together and turn this into a virtual live show. So what this will mean is that we can then take this virtual live show to broadcast it across social media. We can broadcast it across our websites, YouTube, and even onto our own virtual platform per se. So people can not only experience the virtual platform per se, but they can also head on over to when they're actually watching video content, They're actually watching more interactive video content where people can walk around, move around, do things with the virtual background, virtual environments, and not just like a static video conference, right? So these are the things that we will end-to-end produce. And in this sense, it will combine all sorts of virtual elements together for people to consume content and actually interact with content at their home these days, right? So moving on to some of the companies that we're working with, we've been working with a lot of international companies, large MNCs, and also local SMEs alike. And whoever that requires our solutions to actually do various things that requires engagement from the users, we are there to actually provide. So now let me move on to breaking down what sort of talents that we need and what sort of category of people that we're actually looking to hire to join our team of virtualization developers, right? So the first very important pillar that we have is what we call virtual event conceptualization and consultation. So a lot of people, they still do not understand like what can you do virtually? What does it mean, right? So we will have a team of people that will be there to explain to them, get what we call gather the requirements, and to understand how through our solutions we can actually develop all sorts of next level features for them, because we are continuously improving. Virtualization is not a one solution fit all concept. As far as I know, different clients will have different expectations, and with different expectations they will have different requirements there. And then for our team, we need to gather requirements, we need to understand how do we fulfill them. And for this, usually people that is from the marketing background is great. We need a creative mindset. Talents from the events industry, the marketing industry is there to fulfill as what we call account management part, and to actually propose, give our ideas, and to see what can we do with our systems. And also on our side, we also require web programmers, app programmers, or also game developers to actually join the company, because these are what we call the main driving force of the team that will actually develop the solutions needed to fulfill the client's needs. Next, we actually have a lot of creative aspects of the team with 3D modeling and rendering, because as I've showed you earlier on, we have a lot of aspects that we call 2.5D, 3D, or even 2D elements. Depending on the job and depending on the client requirements, we can actually cater and customize, these kind of various solutions for them. So with this, we will usually require people from game design background, people that are graphic designers, 3D interior designers, or what we call multimedia specialists per se, because it's usually a mix of conceptualizing the thing in 3D, or have a various artwork concept being created so that our clients can understand more, because a lot of times clients, what they imagine and what they envision in reality is very different, right? So we need these kind of people to actually go there and showcase what probably the final product would be. So people from the creative and multimedia side is definitely needed. Of course, we also have our live streaming and green screen production crew. And in this sense, we will, of course, need people from the multimedia background, people that has been involved in video production, people in PR to actually come in and plan the shows. We have scripts, we need to plan the shows, the pre-production processes. And we also have the people that manage and runs the whole live streaming process. How do we broadcast it to all of the platforms out there, and things like that. And lastly, we will also look at people from the digital marketing background, where we require people to come and talk about how can we promote an event, right? How can we make a lot of people want to come to our virtual event? So in a lot of this sense, clients will also usually engage us to plan that process. What kind of content do we do to promote people to come to the event, the activities? And in this sense, of course, we are looking at people from the marketing, sales, and business background. So we are quite a diverse company in terms of the skill set needed, and where we will need people not only from tech, we will need people who's in marketing and sales. We will also need people from multimedia production, and also from the graphic and illustration design based aspects and things like that, right? So yeah, that's about it for my presentation for today. So I hope you guys will actually have a better, clearer sense on what does virtualization mean in this current pandemic, and how our company at Virtual Tech Frontier is able to support all sorts of companies from events, tourism, industries that are not able to run things physically, right? Even retail. We're talking about a few projects to build virtual retail malls and things like that right now. So hopefully with our sort of solutions, we are still able to provide solutions for the local economic companies that are in Malaysia right now, and hopefully we can continue to strive beyond the pandemic. So do contact me here if relevant, or do search us online. We are everywhere, and hope to hear from you guys, and please enjoy the rest of the session for today. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, Jason, thank you so much. Next, we're lucky to be joined by Ms. June from Agos Asia with the topic of career in robotics automation. Go ahead, June.
Thank you, Hanina. Good morning, everyone. Very happy to be able to spend my Sunday morning with you all. So let me introduce AGOS and what we can offer. And hopefully we could get some of you to be interested to join us today. Yeah. Right. So AGOS. AGOS stands for a grain of sand. So I do hope you remember us. Yeah. And what does it mean, right? A grain of sand means that if you actually cultivate it day after day, and a little bit of sand would actually bring us to a pearl one day. And that's what we do. We are a group of consultants, right? And we have deep CFO experience. And basically what we could do is we could see end-to-end, we could see, sorry, just a second. We could see end-to-end view of an organization. So therefore, what we do is we actually evaluate and decide what technology should be used by an organization. So what I would like to highlight is this. I think you have seen just now in many of the presentation, these are the providers of the solution. Yeah, these are the technology that are up there that you could choose, whether it's a robotics process automation, whether it's a HR engagement platform or a virtual platform, like you have heard, virtual exhibition platform that you have heard just now. Now, the question is, with all the solutions out there, how do you choose what is relevant to you as an organization? And that's where we come in. Now, I do believe that there are a lot of technology solutions out there, but the real challenge is to decide what is relevant to an organization. Yeah, and an organization is very large. It has many departments. So it could you could have production, you could have marketing, you could have finance, you can have HR, etc. Right? So how do you have a technology solution that string all this together to make sure that it is an end-to-end flow of information. And at the end of the day, the top management is able to see the results of the organization in real time to enable them to make decisions that would assist the organization to propel the organization to grow further, right? And also to identify example, productivity savings, especially in view of the current pandemic, where most organizations will need to tighten their purse, right? So this is where AGOS comes in. We basically look at what are the needs of an organization, and then we help the organization to decide on what technology should be used. And we would also implement the technology solution. Yeah. So what are examples of technology solutions that we have helped companies to implement? Examples would be what we call the ERP system. These are enterprise resource planning system. And you may have heard of names such as SAP or Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics. Yeah. So these are some of the backbone system that's been used to connect the different functions within an organization and to produce financial data for decision making. We also do RPA implementation, yeah, robotics process automation, which is going to be the focus of my presentation later as I walk you through it. And what we do within RPA is when we go into an organization, we would actually review their current processes, and then we will recommend improvement in the processes. This is where we apply our CFO experience. We would actually help to enhance the processes, especially finance processes. And we would then recommend what would be the script, yeah, that the RPA developer need to develop. Now, within AGOS, we have also developed the capability of having our own internal RPA developer. And this is one of the focus of our hiring, which I want to share with you today. So from us, it will be an end-to-end offering where we would provide a recommendation to the company in terms of what would be the process going forward and what would be the outcome of the software, the robotic software that we would be producing. And we would actually project implement the entire process. And at the end of the day, the company would be able to get a deliverable, which is the software robot. And that would help in actually taking away some of the mundane and repetitive jobs from their team members. Yeah. So we do focus in making the technology work. What does this mean? There's a lot of training and change management that's required, right? In terms of enterprise, it is not as intuitive, right? As a consumer, is not like you're choosing to buy a phone. When you choose to buy a technology for the enterprise, there's normally a lot of stakeholders that you need to engage, and then you will need to make sure that it can work. Yeah. So we focus it as well in terms of how do you bring the technology to be used and embedded by the user. So in a nutshell, from Agor's point of view, what you can take away is we are actually fusing finance and technology, right? We are looking into changing the way how finance work in an organization. Example is using how do we use optical character recognition? How do we actually look at an invoice, physical copy of invoice, how do we extract the data, and how do we automatically input it into the system, yeah, so that management could have a view of the information. And we actually work in configuring robotics process automation robots, yeah, for organization. And examples of these processes within RPA would be, example, if somebody from the Treasury Department needs to send an email every day to the bank, right, detailing what are the information or what are the exchange rate that is needed, the robot can be configured to send this email. Within HR, if you need to have a reminder to employees to submit their claims form by the end of the month, the robot can be configured to actually send this reminder email to the employees. So you don't actually need a human, right, to cut and paste the email every month end and then click the send button. A robot can be configured to do that. Yeah. So that is the advantage of this RPA. And you may then ask the question, right, if that is the case, does RPA replace the human brain? And also replace the human talent? I think you may have seen just now in some of the presentation, it does say that it leads to a reduction in talent. Well, it does, in a sense that it takes away manual, repetitive, and non-value add work from us. Yeah. So therefore, that is the role of the RPA. And what that means is it then leaves us with a space, right, as talent to develop higher value skills. And we then need to use the space that we have, right, within our brain to problem solve, right? And the robot may come up with exceptions and say, hey, you know, when you ask me to scan this image, it seems that I can only scan the invoice number and the name of the vendor, but I can't scan the address. So the robot will throw you this exception, then you need to problem solve, right? And then you need to think about trends in the future. What are the other solutions that are available? How is AI then be built into it? How can you use it? Then what are the risks, right? So this is where we need to evolve as talent in Malaysia if we want to stay competitive, right? We are pushing away the work that is mostly manual and non-value add to the robot. But we are freeing up space in our brain so that we are able to take on more higher value add stuff. And that is the only way we can remain competitive. If you want to compare with our neighbors in ASEAN or even bigger neighbors such as India, China, etc. Yeah. So let's have a conversation. I hope that inspires you, right, to consider us. You know, these are some of the fun activities that we have had. You can see that basically we do a lot of community engagement. Like within Agos, we also have a club called the Monster Club, where we organize visits to companies such as here you can see with Microsoft, where we share and learn, right, the use of technology, especially in business processes. We also organize annual Agos Summit. And this is where we basically take on the nuggets of wisdom and also the experience of very experienced business leaders, and also looking forward into the trends of the future. Yeah. So contact us. We are looking for RPA developer, IT software developer, and also finance analyst. Yeah. So happy to speak to you further and happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, June. That was really awesome. Now, our last speaker for the day is from Pantas Software, Mr. Max Lee, who will share about the job opportunities at Pantas, a fintech startup. On to you, Max.
Thank you, Aja. Hi, good morning. I hope everybody is still awake. My name is Max Lee. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Pantas. Let me share my screen. Okay, started. Okay, so Pantas is founded by 3 Malaysian returnees with established career in fintech, hedge fund, investment banking, and startup in New York City. We have actually joining us today as well is our COO Shaida and our CTO Yongtan. So 3 of us have 4 decades of combined experience in artificial intelligence, big data analytics, credit analysis, and finance. Our track records also include the founding and selling of a big data analytics startup to Bain, New York, before we started Pantas. So the previous slide is the official introduction, but I like this slide better as it shows the story and the people behind Pantas. 3 of us have been friends for more than 10 years. This photo was taken in my apartment in New York in early 2020, when we made the collective decision to come back home to Malaysia to start Pantas. Pantas was founded because we believe that every business has the right to grow and unlock its potential, no matter the size. Here at Pantas, we are doing our part in building an inclusive world where small businesses have equitable access to financial, economics, and social opportunity. We offer innovative solutions and financial services that serve our business. At Pantas, we put our user first. When they win, we win. Okay, it sounds like we are a charity organization, but I assure you we are not. We might sound very idealistic, but rest assured, we do have an exciting and attractive business model. And Pantas managed to secure funding from overseas investors from US, France, Germany, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Thailand. We are also backed by a company listed on KLSE. Our investor, who also serve as our advisor, include head of fintech partnership for one of the largest banks in the world, group head of transformational office for AIA, Hustle Fund, a VC fund based in San Francisco, private equity and hedge fund investor who have invested in technology company and startups such as Alibaba, PayPal, Shopee, Zoom, etc. As you can see, Pantas is well funded, and we are able to offer very competitive compensation packages, even for our interns. So what do we do? So Pantas is created to solve 2 main issues. The first is the inefficient, expensive, and time-consuming chores of processing payable and receivables that often result in errors and payment delays. The second is the difficulty for businesses, especially SME, to obtain adequate and affordable financing. So how do we solve it? So we are solving this issue by providing businesses with a free cloud-based software to automate the manual billing, invoicing, and payment process. And the second is we offer seamless access to affordable financing through our partner banks using AI-powered credit risk assessment tool. Okay, that was a mouthful. In short, we are using technology to help companies secure financing. You'll be able to learn more about the secret sauce once you join Pantas. So we are currently hiring for 8 positions listed here, both in our business development and engineering team. Each team is headed by my 2 co-founders who have experience running much bigger organizations than Pantas. So rest assured, you'll be learning from the best on the job. I'm not going to go through each position listed here, as the job description are posted on our website. I do, however, want to talk about the candidate that we are looking for. So this photo was taken when we first started operation in April this year. We have expanded quickly, and currently we have 11 team members. We still can't find time to take a nice photo of ourselves, no thanks to COVID. So Pantas is different from most companies you have worked in or heard of. We run Pantas similarly to a startup in the US. We have a very flat organization structure and direct to a culture. As a result, we want to hire people with the following 5 attributes. First, dream big. We believe that every big achievement starts the same way, pushing our limits, aiming higher than we believe is possible, and working backwards from there. So we look for candidates who dare to dream big to join us. Okay, people might think this sounds very cheesy, so I'll give two real-life examples. First is my Sarah, with this lovely candidate here. So my Sarah joined us as a fresh grad on May 1st. She was given the opportunity to host a seminar with our user less than 2 months after joining Pantas, because her dream is to run a fintech one day. Well, essentially, she wants to take over my job, but it's fine. So to do that, she needs to start somewhere, and Pantas is ready to support her dream by giving her the opportunity to solve. And second example will be Trichin. Trichin graduated with a degree in economics, but she realized that her dream was to be a software engineer. So she took a coding bootcamp to upskill herself. We offer her an internship and necessary guidance. She exceeded our expectation and impressed us with her tenacity. She dared to dream big, so we dared to take a chance on her. So now Trichin is a full-time software engineer at Pantas. So these are just two of the many examples in Pantas. I can keep on going to tell you how we have Crispin, our awesome product manager, an engineer who are like a big brother to the team, Lionel Wong, our front-end engineer who does miracle, Lionel Low, our Mr. Jack of all trades, Ivan, our genius full-stack engineer, and our intern Akshay and Shinyi, who are as good as full-time employee. The reason I'm mentioning all that is because, because we only have 11 employees right now. The second reason is because Pantas is full of great people to work with, and you can learn a lot from them. The second reason, the second attribute we're looking for is one team. And what do I mean by that? Pantas is a big, inclusive family. We have all kinds of personality, from introvert to extrovert, anime lover to part-time broadcaster, social activists to open source software volunteers. We all work closely together and celebrate each win and losses as well. We are always there to support each other. Pantas as a diverse team member from different backgrounds, different races, gender, socio-economic background. At Pantas, we do not discriminate, full stop. We fired one of the recruiter we were working with because he asked whether we want to filter our candidate based on race. So discrimination of any kind is not tolerated here. Third is ownership and accountability. We take our result personally and deliver at the highest standards. The senior member at Pantas don't micromanage. All team members are given space to excel with the guidance from the senior member. Of course, help is available every time you need it. In exchange for this freedom, every team member is held accountable and has clear KPIs. The fourth attribute we're looking for is growth mindset. We expect everybody in Pantas to have the discipline to speak the truth, humility to know that one can always improve, and most importantly, is the curiosity to learn. If you make a mistake, we expect you to figure out what went wrong, seek help, and find a way to improve. We'll be very direct about errors and issues. We never sugarcoat them. That's just our culture. We ask all team members to be humble, to receive criticism, and continuously improve themselves. As I always tell people in Pantas, there's no stupid question. In fact, we encourage team members to question everything. Even our intern questions some of the decisions we make. And we encourage that because as senior management, we are not always correct, and we want to learn from you too. I mean, if not, why would we want to hire you to begin with? And lastly, the very important attribute, impatient optimism. It might look pretty bleak right now, with COVID cases hovering at 10,000 cases daily, and job market is not doing great. But things do improve, and we believe future will be great, but we want to get there quickly, or should I say Pantasly. We all return to Malaysia because we know that Malaysians are talented and are capable of great things. But we do have to take action. As a result, we move Pantasly and with a positive attitude. When things are tough and stressful, your teammate will be there for you. And this is how Pantas works. So if you fulfill all these 5 attributes, please check out the job description at pantas.com/career. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Back to you, Hanina.
All right, wonderful. I like Pantas. You know, they really walk the talk, right? All right. It seems like we are running out of time. Be sure to save all the information if you have questions and whatnot. If we can have all our panelists just turn on the video. We are running out of time. We won't be able to do a Q&A session, but what we'll do is we'll post the answers to your questions that you have posted on the chat box. Now, next up, we are going to have another sets of 6 companies who will be sharing, about the organizations, the vacancies that they have. And if you want to explore additional vacancies or the various vacancies that these companies are talking about, please do check out our initiative website, which is mdec.my/mywit. And with that, I'll pass it on to Wafi.
Thank you very much, Hanina, for that. Thank you, Robin, Priya, Max, Jason, June, and Joanne for the insightful session and on the different positions and opportunities that each of your organizations offer. It's really refreshing to know that a lot of these homegrown Malaysian organizations are flourishing and reaching new heights, creating a lot of different platforms that many of us see as the future of digital Malaysia. So if you'd like to be part of any of these organizations and be a part of Malaysia's ever-growing digital workforce, then you can visit MyWit's booth at Grado and Aspire and potentially get hired. To the audience members that had their questions answered, do take a look at the chat box to see the answers, and Grado will be in touch with you on Shopee vouchers. Once again, thank you very much to our panel. We wish you all the best. A big thanks to our viewers too. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next session happening shortly, featuring a host of 6 more homegrown Malaysian organizations. So thank you guys so much. With that, we'll be ending